Here we are using AC as a input. That will be the difference. So that we are calling this as a single phase induction motor. We have a 3-phase induction motor also. Okay. So in next class we are going to study about a 3-phase induction motor. So there we will be using a 3-phase. Okay. So in this case we have a stationary part as well as a rotating part. Okay. Stationary part which is called as a stator. The outer part which is called as a stator. And this rotating part is called as a rotor. Okay. That's the two parts. One is the stationary part, which is called as a stator. The other part which is rotating, this is known as a rotor. Okay. Then we have a air gap between these two, stator and the rotor. So this round which is meant for the air gap. Okay. Actually, there is no connection between a stator and a rotor. There is no connection between the stator and a rotor. It is the outer part, which is a fixed one, stationary, and the inner part, which is nothing but a rotating one. So here we have in outer part, we have a many of the stamping. This portion, this is called as a stator stamping. Stator stamping. Okay, this is called as a stator stamping. So what is the use of this stator stamping? So we can be able to do a winding in this. Okay, we can be able to do a winding in the stator. Okay, so this part will be fixed in a number of poles. Okay, so as usual we are going to fix a number of poles around this stator. So at that time the magnetic field will be produced. Okay, as usual concept. So we will be placing this center in a poles. So number of poles. So depends upon the number of poles, the speed will vary. Okay, here what is the main point here? We are using as a single phase AC circuit. So that is the main point. So by using this poles, we will be doing a winding. This winding will be connected to a stator. This stamping. Okay, inside the pole we will be connecting all the winding. So that it is called as a stator winding or as a stator winding, or you can call it as a main winding. Okay, or main winding. Isn't it? So this is nothing but a we have a north and south poles. So here for an example, we are taking here 2 poles. Okay, so the magnetic field will be induced. And then, so here we are doing a lamination. So what is the purpose of a lamination? To minimize the losses. Okay, so over this stamping, stator stamping, we are doing a laminations. So that is one of the things we have to know. So the lamination. So around this stator stamping, we are doing a laminations. So in order to minimize the losses. Okay. Not to minimize the iron losses. As well as we will be using a silicon steel for manufacturing this portion, this stamping. So we can be able to minimize the hysteresis loss also. Okay, we will be using a silicon steel. This portion, this stamping will be made up of a silicon steel, so that we can be able to minimize the hysteresis. Okay. We have 2 parts. One is the stator, the other one is the rotor. The stator part is stationary. Okay, this is a fixed one. And rotor, which is a rotating one. The name itself you can define that. So rotor is a rotating part. So we have a shaft which is inside this stator. That is a somewhat rotating one. Okay. So some of the applications of a single phase induction motor will be using in a home way. So in a home itself we will be using, and similar as a hair dryer. We'll be using a this set of a single phase induction motor in many different set of applications. Why? In the sense we'll be having a very minimum fractional. We can call it as a fractional horsepower. We will be using a very minimum power, so that it is called as a fractional horsepower. Okay. Small. It is also said to be a very small when compared to the other motors. So it is the size is also the construction is also very small, so that we can use it in a very small set of toys also. Small set of toys as well as a small fans, and also we can use it in a hair dryer. So that is a variety of applications where we will be using a single phase AC as the input. Okay, so that the name is given as a single phase. Always a phase represents that it is a positive and negative, so that we are calling it as a AC. Okay, the input will be a AC, no doubt at all. If we are having a phase, then it is the meaning of a AC as an input. Okay, why we are calling that as a single phase? In the sense the motor which is working on a single phase AC circuit, so that it is called the single phase induction motor. Two setup, stator and a rotor. Stator will be a stationary one, fixed one, and it has a many different set of slots. This slots is said to be a stator stamping. In a construction itself, we will be doing this stator stamping. It is laminated. Why it is laminated? In order to minimize the iron losses. Okay, and also this is a we have a poles. So this setup will be fixed in between the poles in order to produce a magnetic field, and there will be a winding which is around this stamping. This winding which is called as a stator winding or a main winding. We can call it as a stator winding or a main winding. And then inside this we have there is no connection between a stator and a rotor, and the rotor is the one which is a rotating one. Okay, there will be a air gaps which is placed uniformly, and so there will be a slot which is inside the rotor. Okay, yes. So this will be a very simple construction. And one more thing we need to remember this. So this the stator stamping will be made up of a silicon stick. So why we are using a silicon stick? In order to minimize the hysteresis losses. Okay. Then see. So whenever we are giving a single phase supply to this stator winding, so we will be having a stator stamping. So the windings, the wires are winded in this stator stamping. Whenever we are going to give a single phase supply to this stamping, okay, we are going to apply a single phase AC supply. So at that time, what will happen? So already it is fixed in between the poles. We need different set of poles. So depends upon this, what will be induced? It induces a EMF. Yes, as usual, it will be induces a EMF. Okay. Then this induced EMF will be depends upon the number of poles. So how many number of poles we have used in this setup? So depends upon that the number of EMF will be induced. Okay. Yes. So that it will be deciding the speed of the motor. Okay. So number of the poles in the stator winding, the number of poles note down, the number of poles in the stator winding decides the synchronous speed. Synchronous speed. Okay, so depends upon the number of poles, the speed of the motor will be decided. So it will be given as the ns is equal to ns represents the number of n represents the speed, s represents the synchronous speed. 1.p f divided by p. So the speed of this single phase induction motor supply frequency, and P represents the number of poles. So speed of this motor will be decided based on the frequency as well as the number of poles. Okay, mostly this frequency will be a constant for a single AC supply. So this will be normally taken as a 50 Hz. So 120 F divided by P. P represents the number of poles. So the number of poles will be decides this synchronous speed. Okay, if the number of poles will be more, then what will happen to the speed? Yes. So this induction motor never rotates in a synchronous speed. It will be somewhat less than a synchronous speed. Suppose we will be going to find out some values for this synchronous speed. This is a normal formula 120 F divided by P. Suppose you can substitute a value will be at 50 Hz and P value will be at 2. Then what is the value of this synchronous speed? It is a rotation per minute. Okay, what is the unit of the speed of a motor? RPM. Okay, RPM, rotation per minute. Okay, so what is the speed? Energy is equal to 120 into 50 divided by 2. So you will be applying as a 3000. Okay, 3000 RPM. So normally the motor, single phase induction motor, which is not rotating at this speed, it will be somewhat less than this speed. Okay, induction motor which never rotates at the speed of this synchronous speed. Okay, it will be somewhat less than this synchronous speed. Okay, and the next one is about so far we have seen about stator winding, why we are using a lamination and silicon steel, and next one is about rotor. So inside that we have a rotor setter. This is nothing but a rotor. This rotor in a form of squirrel cage. Normally we can call this single setup of this is known as a cage type of rotor. Cage type rotor. This is single cage. So we can call this as a cage type rotor. So we have a air gap which is uniformly placed, and we have a shaft inside the rotor. So in order to rotate the rotor, we have a shaft. Okay, and normally this cage type of a rotor, we can call it as a squirrel cage type rotor. This one it has a many different setup. So inside the stator, we are fixing a rotor, and so this rotor is nothing but a cage type of a rotor. Okay, the pattern which is similar to a cage, so we are calling this a cage type of a rotor. See, we have a windings. In outside, in this type of a setup of cage type rotor, we have a windings. This winding is uninsulated copper or a aluminium bars. Okay, aluminium or a copper bars, which is placed in the slot. We have a code so there we will be placing the copper or a aluminium bars. Okay, so these bars are permanently shorted this at the end. So we have a wire. So this wire is ended at the end. So we are shorting this. We are shorting this wire at the end. So that we are calling this as the end ring. We are shorting. We are ending up this copper or aluminium bars at the end of the cage of the rotor. So that it is called as the end ring. Okay. So this is the important one, end ring. Permanently we are doing a shorting of this, and then so as we already said, suppose we are going to apply a single phase. So the setup will be like this. We have a, now we are talking about a rotor. So to apply a single phase input to this. So this setup which is said to be a squirrel cage, this setup which is similar to a squirrel cage. So that we are calling this a squirrel cage rotor. This is nothing but a squirrel cage rotor. Okay. So inside this we have a shaft, and then this is a stator winding. We have a poles. So where we will be giving a single phase supply? Stator or in a rotor? We are going to give a supply to a stator. Okay? The main winding only we are going to give it. Okay? So this portion here is not on the stator right. So this winding is nothing but a main winding or a stator winding which is mounted on the stator stamping. We have this type of a slot right now. So there only we are doing a winding of the wires. Okay. So there that is what is the main winding. Here only we are going to apply a single phase AC supply. Okay. So due to this, so there will be a poles. So due to this, there will be a EMF will be induced. Okay. So due to the induced EMF, what will happen? This rotor which has an auxiliary winding. Okay. So both this main winding stator, there is a stator winding as well as the auxiliary winding. We are going to fix it in a 90 in this type of form. So take it as an example. This is our main winding. We are going to give us a single phase AC supply. So this is a main winding. So in the construction itself, we have a main winding as well as a auxiliary winding. So in order to increase the speed, so in order to rotate the stator, we require auxiliary winding. So both can be fixed at a 90 degree. Okay. Both the main winding and auxiliary windings can be set up at the 90 degree phase shift. Okay. Here only we have a rotor. So this is the So there only we are going to apply a single phase AC supply. So the entire setup will be fixed in a poles. The setup are poles. Okay. So this is what it is drawn here. So suppose we will be using a two setup of poles, then it is what is a two phase motor. We will be using a two setup of poles, then we can call it as a two phase, or we can call it as a two pole. Sorry, not two phase, two pole. We have two poles. So two pole motors. We have two poles, so we can call it as a two pole motor. So this is what we are going to give a supply to the stator. Okay. Then, so how the rotor starts rotating. This single phase induction motor is not a self-starting motor. Okay, it is called as a no self-starting. Why it is called as a no self-starting? We will see that. We will see the operation of a single phase induction motor. Principal operation of a single phase induction motor. So here we are going to use as a double field revolving theory. So what is this theory? Double field revolving theory. See, what is this theory? So we have given a supply, the EMF will be induced. So this is the rotor. See, after giving the supply, the EMF will be induced in this, so it will be passes through the rotor with the help of auxiliary winding. Okay, transformer action. You know the operation of a transformer. No? In a transformer, we are going to give a supply quantity to the primary winding, and due to the magnetic field, there will be a. So this is a transformer setup. So we are going to give a supply to the primary winding. This is called as a primary winding, and then so due to the magnetic induction, the whatever we are passing here, that will be induced in the secondary winding also. So remaining, so suppose you are connecting any diode or any setup, so that voltage will be passes through the whatever you have connected as a load. Okay. So similar to the concept of this, here we are using a double field revolving theory. What does this theory say about? Due to the fundamental principle, so that we have two set of fluxes will be generated. So that will be opposite to each other. So why this two set of fluxes will be generated? Due to the alternating quantities. So what is this alternating quantities? We are using AC as a supply. So positive and negative. So it will be two alternating quantities. Even though the magnitude will be set as a equal, but both are in the opposite direction. It is in a one direction, the other one will be in a opposite directions. Okay. So due to this alternating quantities, so the flux will be generated as a 2. The flux will be generated as a 2. So the values we are considering here is a pi m by 2. Pi is a flux, so that will be half of the values. Okay, we are having the two set of fluxes, so the two set of fluxes will be half of the values. So both are rotating in the opposite direction. Okay, why is that? Due to the alternating quantities. Okay, so this is nothing but a double field revolving theory. Double field revolving theory. One is rotating in this direction, the other one is rotating in the opposite direction. So that it is called as a double revolving. One is rotating clockwise, the other one is rotating in the double flexes are A, comma B. Okay. So what is the values of these flexes? It is half of the values. We are having the two flexes. So 2 into pi m by 2. So whenever we are going to find out the resultant net value. So that time we will be adding up these two values. So pi m by 2 and then pi, here also we have a pi m by 2. So we have a 2 into, either you can add up. So pi m 1 by 2 becomes a 1 only. So that here we are writing as a pi m. Resultant value, net value. Either you can call it as a resultant or a net value. So resultant plus net plus. Okay, both are meaning same only. So as per the concept, fundamental concept, here we are obtaining the values. One is in clockwise direction, the other one will be now anti-clockwise direction. So we are obtaining the resultant value as a pi m. Okay. And then, so this is for one setup. At the starting, we will be having this setup of pi m by 2 and then pi m by 2. After reaching a second quarter, since we are giving a AC as a input, so this is the starting. After a quarter, what will happen? We are giving some values. Then, when it reaches half of the cycle, so the value will differ. And again, some set of a quarter, the value will differ. So, depends upon this. So, we are having a different set of flexes. We are going to find out what is the flex will be generated in the rotor in the various set of phases of this input. Since we are going to give us a single phase AC as an input, so we will be having a two different set of flexes. This flexes will be named as A, B. Now we will see. So what is the different set of cycles? What is the flexes will be generated? We are going to calculate as a net flex or resultant flex. So this will be, we can write it as a so each is rotating in opposite direction. So speed for minus is equal to 120 F divided by B. So one is in this direction, the other one will be in an opposite direction. So pi m by 2, here also we are writing as a pi m by 2. Suppose we are taking this as theta. So each of these flexes, A and B, which is said to be each of the flexes. So each flex will be taking the half of the flex values, pi m by 2 and pi m by 2, which is rotates in the opposite directions. So the angle is same as a plus or minus of theta. Just rotates in this angle. This value for the quarter cycle we are taking this as a one is in this direction, the other one is in opposite direction. So we are considering this as a theta. One is plus, the other one will be a minus. Plus and then minus. So the resultant here we are writing is under resultant flex. So as usual, 2 into pi m by 2 and then sine 2 theta. Suppose we are going to find out the sine theta for this. So by finding out the sine theta, we are obtaining this value will be a pi m by 2 into sine theta. And here also pi m by 2 into sine theta. So totally it is for the sine 2 pi divided by 2. So we can cancel out the similar terms. We are obtaining the resultant value is a pi m into sine theta. After a quarter cycle, pi m into sine theta. Okay. There will be a two set of flexes will be generated. The flex here we are named it as a and B flex. It will be rotating, revolving motions are rotating in the opposite directions of the same speed, synchronous speed. Synchronous always represents that as a same speed. Okay. It is also rotating in the same speed. It is also rotating in the same speed, but it is in the opposite direction. Okay. So what is the resultant? So after quarter cycles, that is here we are taking the input. After quarter cycles of a rotation, then what will happen? The fluxes will be oppositely directed. Okay. So here we have a and then B. Just in order to indicate a vertical directions, here it is given as a Y. So after quarter cycles, so both the fluxes will be oppositely directed. Here we have a and here we have a B. Exactly both are opposite. Okay. So if both are exactly opposite, what is the resultant value? We are going to find out what is the net value. Okay. That is a here we are taking it as pi m by 2 minus pi m by 2. Whenever we are adding up these two values, the resultant value will be 0. Okay. So here the resultant value will be taken as a 0. Okay. Next, after a half cycle, the next one. So we are going to find out what is the alternating quantity whenever we are going to give it for the stator. Then what is the reaction of a rotor? So after the half cycle, then this is taken as A and then B. This is nothing but a resultant Y. Both are rotating in opposite directions, that won't vary. So after half of the cycle, then flexes will be. What will be the flexes? So we are drawing this as A plus B. Again this is rotating in this direction. It will be in the opposite direction. So we are going to find out what is the value of pi m flex value. So it is just a negative. After reaching the maximum after half of the cycles. So first one is taken as a quarter value. So after reaching half of the values, we are considering this fluxes will be a pi m by 2 minus pi m by 2. This will be a minus pi m by 2. So whenever we are going to add up these two values, that is the resultant. So 2 into minus pi m by 2. So we can cancel out this. Okay. Otherwise you can write it up pi m by 2 minus pi m by 2. So both are meaning same one. So 2 into minus pi m by 2. Either we can use it up minus pi m by 2 minus pi m by 2. So that also will be giving us a same value only. So it is a minus 2 pi m by 2. We can cancel out these 2. So we are attaining the minus pi m. So the resultant value will be a minus pi m. And then so it is rotated continuously. So the vector we are taking it as a and then B. Rest of a vector. So this is for the next quarter cycles. Again, after the 3 quarter cycle, what will happen? The same rotation will continue. Here we have a B, and then next here we have a A. Okay, the action continues. So both the fluxes will be in a opposite direction. So first, starting like here we have a A, here we have a B. Both are rotating in opposite. So the resultant will be a plus pi. Okay. Next, after the quarter cycles, we have found out pi m into sin. The next half of the cycles we have found out it is a minus pi m. And next, after the 3 quarter of a cycle, 3 quarter of a cycles, it will be just the opposite. Both the fluxes will be just the opposite. So here we are going to find out the resultant value. The resultant value will be a 0. Here minus pi m, here will be a plus pi m. So when we are adding these two values, it will be a 0 only. So we are obtaining the resultant fluxes will be a plus pi m and then 0, minus pi m and then 0. This will be continuous. Okay. So due to the conclusion double field revolving theory. Why we are calling it as a double revolving theory? There will be a two set of fluxes will be generated. So both will be in a opposite direction with the synchronous in the speed. Okay. Yes. So that we are calling it as a double field. So we are drawing the finalized flux rotation into the AC supply. So here we are considering this as flux pi and it is a different values of a rotation theta. It is 90, 180, 270 and 360. So what is that? Flux variation. Since the flux which is rotated between a plus or minus of theta, so this angle. So plus or minus of a theta due to the different variations. What is the flux variation? Here we have drawn as a waveform. So due to this, we have made a conclusion. What is the conclusion? Alternating quantities composed of two revolving fluxes. Okay, alternating quantities represents that alternating input. Alternating quantities composed of two rotating fluxes will be in opposite directions and each of having a half of the values. Okay, half of the values represents a pi by 2. Okay, so slip of the motor. So we are going to find out what is the forward rotating flux. Slip represents S F. Forward rotating S F is equal to ns synchronous speed minus n divided by ns. So two revolving fluxes will be generated. So due to that slip of the motor, we are writing SF. It is nothing but a forward rotating flux. F represents a forward rotating flux. So which is in the same directions of the rotor. If the rotor is rotating in one direction, the flux is also rotating in the same directions. So we are calling it as a forward rotating flux. SF is equal to ns minus n divided by ns. Okay. Then suppose there will be a one more slip with respect to backward rotating. Just opposite to the rotation of a rotor. So that we are calling it as a backward rotation. This is a plus pi and minus pi. Okay. So yes, B represents a backward is equal to n s minus of minus n. Why we are using this minus n? Since it is in a opposite direction. Same thing here we are using it as in a opposite direction. Okay, so that we are writing it as a minus n. So how will you simplify this? Ns plus n divided by ns. Or otherwise we can write it as a this is a 1 plus n divided by ns. So here you can write it as a similarly here also you can write it as a 1 minus n divided by ns. So here we have a n by ns will be a common. So how will you modify this? Yes. So you can bring out this n by s to the other side and writing as a next set of equations. So n by s to the left hand side and 1 minus s f. Since it is a forward direction, you can use it as a 1 minus s also. voltage. So substitute 1 and 2. So SB is equal to 1 plus 1 minus S. So it is equal to 2 minus S. So the backward rotating flux is equal to 2 minus S. Yes. So each of the two component, we have a two set of fluxes will be generated. So at that time, what will happen? So each of the component of fluxes while rotating the stator, while revolving. So whenever you are going to give us a supply to the stator winding, at the time the flux will be generated. Due to the magnetic actions, the flux will be generated. So both are will be in the opposite directions. So this is around the stator. So it will be cuts the rotor. So due to this only the rotor starts rotating. Okay. Whenever you are going to give us a supply, so at that time what will happen? If the entire setup it is around the poles, so magnetic field will be flux will be generated. So the magnetic flux will be both are in opposite in the directions. So we are finding out the road whether it is in the directions of the rotor or it is in the opposite directions of the rotor. Okay. Yes. So due to that we have found out some of the equations. S is equal to 1 minus S and SP is equal to 2 minus S. So from this we are having a conclusion that due to the alternate quantities, we are finding out two different sets of fluxes. So two are rotating in the opposite directions. This same synchronous speed. Okay. So due to that, this will be around the stator. So this fluxes will be cutting the rotor. Whenever the magnetic field cuts the rotor starts rotating. Okay. So that is the thing. It produces a torque. In order to rotate the rotor, it produces a torque. Okay. So this torque, the slip which is nothing but a two set of a torque forward as well as a backward torque. So it is opposite in directions. Okay. Then see we are going to find out the torque slip characteristics. Torque slip characteristics. How we can able to draw torque and slip characteristics. So this so we are taking the 2, 1 and then 0. So the torque similarly this is nothing but a final resultant torque. So the one is in anti-clockwise direction, the other one is in clockwise direction. So it is starting of in the starting case, suppose we are taking the S value to be a 1, then what will happen? If S is equal to 1, then 1 minus 1 it becomes a 0. Okay? So that the single phase induction motor will be calling that as a no self-starting. If we are taking the S value will be a 1, then 1 minus 1 it becomes a 0. So it is called as a no self-starting motor. Okay. We require additional windings in order to start up a motor. Okay, auxiliary, we can call that as a auxiliary winding or a additional winding. So this is nothing but a torque slip characteristics. Whenever this plexus, stator plexus, it will be around the cutting the rotor. So at that time what will happen? The torque will be reduced. So here we have taken as 0, 1 and 2, so that the resultant curve will be in this direction. So one will be taken in clockwise directions, the other one will be in opposite directions. So this is in a forward direction, the other will be in a backward direction. So the resultant curve will be in this format. Okay. So this is a simple principle of operations of single phase induction motor. So far we have seen about constructions as well as the working and principles of single phase induction motor. Okay, what are the drawbacks of this single phase induction motor? What are the drawbacks? It will be giving a very low efficiency. So it will be a low efficiency. The efficiency, how we can able to calculate efficiency? Output divided by input. Efficiency we can call it as a output power divided by input power in terms of power. Or okay, output power divided by input power. That is nothing but a efficiency. Output divided by input. Generally we are calling efficiency as a output divided by input. It will be producing as a very low efficiency. Okay, and where we are using this single phase induction motor, we will be using in a small fan. What is this? Small fans, small set of toys, hair dryers, wherever we require a very small amount of power, fractional power. We require a very minimum power. That is a fraction of power. So that we can use it as a single phase induction motor. So in a toy and all, we will be using motor will be a very minimum in a sense. So it is also very small in the size also. Okay. So we have four different types of a single phase induction motor. The capacitor. So in order to increase the speed, we will be using as a slip ring, capacitor stand, capacitor run motor, as well as a pole mounted. So that will be a four different types of a synchronous single phase induction motor. So that we will see it in a